Hey, what up, everybody? Happy Tuesday, post-eclipse day for all of you that were into the eclipse. My name's Paul Abernathy, and I'm the CEO and president of Electrical Code Academy Incorporated. We're the company that creates the Fast Tracks program that takes electrical course material and turn it into an online experience. I'm also your personal consultant, and I also host our live Wednesday night sessions where all of our students, if you choose, can come to Wednesday nights and ask questions, get a little one-on-one time with me, and kind of keep us connected with the program. So again, that's who I am, and thank everybody for joining me on this podcast. Remember, you can listen to this podcast. Obviously, you're listening, but one of the easiest ways to listen to this podcast is to get our free mobile app. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. I promise you I don't spam you. I very rarely send notifications, but if there's a state change or a license change somewhere, I usually send out a notice or something like that. But just go to our website, fasttrackssystem.com. That's STRAXSYSTEM.com, and you can get the mobile app. You'll see it in the navigation bar, mobile app, and it's just a link on your phone. It's not really downloading anything, but if it does ask you if you want to be notified, please say yes, and that way we can notify you if necessary. Okay, so one of the things that we have changed to our website, just for everybody out there that is a Fast Track student, whether you're in our basic, enhanced, black, or plus, is that we do have what's called a status page now for our Wednesday night sessions, because sometimes we're not having a Wednesday night session. So again, instead of trying to contact so many people, it's really difficult to coordinate that if we have to cancel for some reason, or so you would just go to our website, and at the top of the navigation you'll see our status page for the Fast Tracks Wednesday night status, and that'll tell you whether or not we're having a class or not. And that can be updated all the way up until the last minute, or not last minute, but usually within within an hour of the session. But don't worry, we're definitely having a session this week. We'll be doing multifamily dwelling calculations, which leads me into today's Ask Paul that was sent to me. And it was sent to me by an electrician. I guess he's studying for his exam, and he's been doing it for 20 years and doing electrical for 20 years. And he says, Paul, I'm really struggling with these calculations. And I'm going to say he's a student, but I don't know that he's in our program because he didn't say, I say a student because everybody listens to my podcast. I like to think everybody is students, and I'm a student. I'm always learning something. I'm a student of the code. But I'm assuming they're struggling with calculations, and they really want to know, hey, I've been in business, or I've been working, not in business, but been working in the industry for 20 years. Why the heck do I need to worry about all these calculations? I mean, am I going to need them in real life? And you got to ask yourself, if you've been working in the electrical field for years and maybe you haven't done calculations. I mean, maybe you're like, dude, what's the last time I calculated a dwelling or a multifamily building, or maybe commercial engineers do it for you. Why do I need to know these things? Why does it matter? Well, I think it's kind of one of those things that's kind of like your benchmark. It's like you have this thing that you have to achieve, this baseline that you have to meet. And in our profession, it's licensure and getting your license. And of course, as you know, I encourage anybody out there who's an electrical worker who want to transition and become a licensed electrician. There's a lot of pride that's associated with that. I tell people all the time, my biggest achievement that I feel in my professional career was when I became licensed, because for me that was the pinnacle. Now, the reason I created the CMECP program, Certified Master Electrical Code Professional program, was only to give master electricians a next level type of training, give them something else to strive to so they can stand out amongst the crowd. If you're interested in that program and you're a master electrician, go check out the cmecp.org. That's cmecp.org. If you have any questions on that, feel free I'm the acting executive director of that. We had somebody that was going to be in place to take that over as executive director, but that person pretty much didn't pan out. So wasn't worthy enough to take over that role. So I'm still here. So check that out. It's a great program, and we really do test your knowledge as a master electrician. It's just going to make you better, and it's a marketing advantage. That's the biggest thing. Okay, so back to the talking about load calculations. That's what we originally started this podcast on. So the person's asking me, why are they important? Well, when it comes to electrical exams, or basically your threshold into the industry, once you get that license, I mean, you can go in all different directions in this profession. So if you're out there listening, you're thinking, do I want to be an electrician? Do I want to get in this profession? Do I want to make a career change, maybe from another trade into electrical? There's no better time. It's a wonderful trade. It's growing. We need electricians. We need skilled workers. Okay? We need skilled electricians in order to make sure that things are safely done. I mean, the technology is changing so rapidly with newer technology, the renewable systems, these EV systems, and they're getting so integrated and intelligent. And in PV systems, it's still rapidly changing when it comes to PV and the innovation of PV, all the way into microinverter, and of course lower or higher voltage, low current transmissions like fault managed systems and all that are going to be the next generation of stuff that you need to be aware of. But it's not just that. I mean, we're still going to need the electrician to do the main infrastructure and do it very well. I mean, we get paid to do it right the first time. We don't get paid to do it right multiple times. And so if you go to work for somebody, it's going to be a time when they're not going to put up with crappy work. I can tell you, I am a consultant to a lot of electrical contractors who pay me an annual fee to be their consultant. And I get calls all the time with business advice, how to deal with issues with employees, especially when it comes to quality and control, and how to implement certain things, or my little sermon that I do about not keeping all your eggs in one basket, little thing that I do, or give them their annual code update training that's included with that consulting thing. Whatever it is, I'm routinely encountered by these electrical contractors with employee issues. And one of them is that they feel like their employees are not learning the basic core fundamentals of not just the code, but calculations. So what is the reason that electricians that are preparing for an electrical exam, electrician journeyman may say, dude, I never do a load calculation. Right? Well, the point is, it's not whether you do it, it's whether you know how to do it. Now, granted, we have calculators today and everything to do this for you, and you're thinking, I just go to the calculator. Well, that's the problem that we have today, is that everybody just wants to run to a calculator. Now, I'm not saying calculus, I'm not saying trigonometry. I mean, hell yeah, use a calculator. Who the hell wants to work that math? And even basic arithmetic, we've got calculators. But when it comes to understanding the steps of a load calculation and where you start, and that's important for the electrician. Now, on an exam, there's very few states out there now who do full-scale load calcs. I mean, they're still out there, and they may give you, same way that we do it in our Fast Tracks program, we may give you all the variables to a dwelling or to a building or a commercial building, and you have to calculate everything out to determine the service and everything like that. Okay, well, that's just fundamentally all the steps rolled into one. But on his exams around the country, it's very common to ask you specific key components to a load calculation. Like, do you know the aspects of doing the 3 VA per square foot? And all of those aspects, and all of those little pieces on a load calculation. So you know how to do all those little aspects of it, little pieces. That's what they may ask you, right? The 3 VA per square foot, first 3,000 at 100%. the next 117,000 at 35%, and then so forth over that at 25%. Do you know how to do that? Do you know that you only have 4 or more appliances you can apply 75% under the standard method? Now, there's so many little pieces in there that you need to understand, because on an exam, I know really you could get any one of those little elements asked. It's not like they're going to hit you with the entire calculation. So it's important for us, at least in our program, and this is what was so important, to take the program and actually break it down into 19 units, and to be able to have it in conjunction with Wednesday nights to ask questions. If there's something you don't understand, then it allows it to break it down so that you can say, well, Paul, I don't understand this piece or this piece. And it allows us to break it down. So that's the beauty. Now, Wednesday nights, I just shout out to students, you're not required to come to that. That's not part of your program. That's just something that I like to do for students. It's something that allows them to have that one-on-one time with me to ask me questions, right? That's the one-on-one time that people get to ask me, right? And so I like to be able to make myself available for students. So that's what that time is all about. So, but we also, one of the unique things in our newer programs, in our basic and enhanced, which enhanced is the best program out there, is that we have what's called comments that you can comment at the end of the unit, or you scroll down to the bottom and you can do comments. And you can ask questions and comments, but we also have the message board where you can log in and post questions and stuff like that. So there's really a lot of ways that you can get questions answered, especially when it comes to load calculations. So one of the biggest areas that people get confused about, again, is when we talk about non-coincident loads. These are 2 loads that will not be operated simultaneously. Now, I will tell you, the code is changing on that to make it easier to understand, and I think the 2023 edition is just a little bit easier to understand non-coincident load applications, and I believe that we'll get better when it comes to 2026. I think we now got it down when it comes to how we want this to be applied, okay? And so really the steps are easy if you understand the fundamental flow, okay? But for load calculations, for the real electrician out there, I mean, you need to know how to do the motors. You need to know how to, even though an engineer might put something on the drawing, you need to be able to look at it and understand why they're doing the short circuit ground fault protection at 250%, let's say, for a circuit breaker, inverse time circuit breaker. You need to understand whether it's 125% or 115% or whatever it is for overloads in 430.32. You need to understand these things, so we kind of go through that, but we have videos that are incorporated into our program that kind of helps hammer the motor thing home. But you can ask me any question you want, and usually I'll do a motor session on Wednesday nights sometimes. It kind of circulates around. I did motors a couple weeks ago. We probably won't do motors again for a couple months, but then we'll circulate around again and do motors. But you can ask me a question at any time. So that's a beautiful thing about our program, is it's not about the course material. I mean, code is code, right? We could have worked straight out of the NEC if I wanted. Okay, we chose to use a already published document to build our Fast Tracks program around. But the Fast Track system is how you get to interact with me on Wednesday, how you get the message boards, how you get to ask questions at the end of your material. All of that stuff is integral in what we call the Fast Track system. And that's what it's all about. It's a Fast Track system. It's not about a course. So when people say, is it a course? Yeah, the course is pretty much the code. It's pretty cut and dry. It's not brain surgery. Great illustrations, great graphics, and all that kind of stuff. Great call outs. But at the end of the day, one of the things that are unique about load calcs is that if I ask you for a load calc, any piece of a load calc, I want to make sure that you know, as an electrician, you really do need to know it. And it's a diminishing skill. It means that over time you do forget how to do it. So you have to constantly be refreshed in how you do it. And that's what we do. We kind of teach you the steps. There's no tricks. There's no tips that, it's kind of just learning. And that's what we try to teach you so that when you leave our program, you still understand very well how to do each element of these calculations. And that's important, right? So anyway, load calcs are so important for electricians because you need to know why you're doing it. It's the mental part. Don't be just a zombie out there pulling cable, running raceway, pulling conductors. You need to know the pieces. Why do we size the overcurrent the way we do? Why do we do motors the way we do? Why do we do load calculations? And do you understand all the little pieces? Because that's your responsibility as an electrician, is to not just do it, but know why you do it. And you know what? You should be striving to want to know why you do it. And if you don't have that and you're just like, I don't care, then I feel sorry for you, because this is probably not the trade you should be in. And maybe you're stuck in this trade and you just want to make money. Well, if that's the case, you're probably never going to make the amount of money that you want to make. So you're always going to be frustrated, right? The old saying, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. And I can honestly say that for 34 years, I love what I do. And it's taken care of me. And electrical profession will take care of you if you treat it with respect and realize that it's a two-pronged approach. It's the physical part and there's the mental part. I can help you with the mental part. The physical part, you got to put in the work. You got to put in the time. There's no shortcuts. Okay? Anybody that tries to take an exam that has not put in the years of the hours, and maybe they just get grandfathered because they have a degree or something, you're going to struggle. And these load calculations are going to really help make you struggle. You're going to really struggle because you don't have the physical components involved in it. And so I feel for you. But if you just stay patient and focus, you'll get it. It's going to take you longer than most people, but you're going to get it. It's just going to take you time. Okay? All right. There's no escape from load calcs, folks. Appreciate you. Thanks for listening to this mobile podcast. If you're a student, make sure you go and check out the status page on fasttracksystem.com to make sure we're on for Wednesday nights. And download our mobile app on our website, fasttracksystem.com. And if you're interested in a lot of good videos, go to fasttrackstube.com and you can subscribe with a coupon code 50OFF. You can get 50% off your first 12-month subscription. We'd love to have you. Till next time, stay safe. God bless.